Yo, I got a bone to pick. I'm gonna make this a short episode, but I really got a bone to pick. Democrats, what the hell are you doing? Like seriously, what the hell are you doing? So if y'all don't know me or y'all don't know what I used to do, yeah, you can say I'm a failed candidate. I don't give a shit about that. I did run for office. Okay, fine. I did run for office. But I am a canvasser. I do help people on campaigns. I do get out and work for nonprofits to knock on people, do canvassing work, knock on people's doors, which is what canvassing work is, to make them aware of policies that's coming out, or they need to get out and vote, and or make sure they're registered to vote. I do voter registration drives with a group that I'm with here in the state of Georgia. So I say all that to say I do a lot of stuff when it comes to politics, community engagement, and just being a flat out just an activist and helping people out within our community. For the life of me, I cannot understand how people are trying to hold us hostage, all of us that does not and do not believe in our current president and what we have to, and who we helped. We helped even the elected officials that are in Congress and on our local side that we helped to get into office. When I say we, I mean people like me that are like the boots on the ground, knocking on people's doors, holding up flyers and telling them how great this person is. And when you go to the polls, vote blue no matter who. I never say that crowd, but still, this is what I've been trained to say. Vote blue no matter who. And I'm just like, these people that we have gotten into place, what the fuck have they done? Like, yo, seriously. So they will taunt, hey, we helped out with job growth. We added in over 750,000 more jobs, and we've done this and done that. But yet the economy is out of control. Housing is out of control. We are in the midst, we've been in the midst for a long time, of a housing crisis. The housing is unaffordable. We have income inequalities within this country, and we've had it for a very long time. I mean, we don't have access to good healthcare. Healthcare is too goddamn expensive. It is too goddamn expensive. For somebody to be talking about the Affordable Care Act, it is not affordable. It is not affordable at all. And then it's like everything else just keeps going up. And so, I pay $575 a month for healthcare. And what is it? The deductible alone is still like $9,000, and it does not cover eyewear, optometry. It doesn't cover my eye care. It does not cover my eye care, and I wear glasses. It doesn't cover my eye care. $575 a month, and I still can't get full coverage. It covers my eye care and anything else. I still got to pay for dental separately too. So I'm like, we have all of these issues in this country and this economy, and before y'all goddamn Republicans start talking about what Republicans don't do shit. But Republicans don't do a goddamn thing. And if you tell me they do, you better, in my comment section, you better give me a fucking policy that tells me exactly what they have done and what they've been proposing that Democrats have been blocking. I know what Democrats been proposing that Republicans been blocking. Give me something. This is my argument whenever I talk to a Republican. Give me something that has helped out, or they're pitching to help out the American people. Give it to me and I'll shut the hell up. Give me something they have done that I can go back to the drawing board and be like, well, right about that. I had one guy tell me that under 45, because I refuse to call this man's name, under 45, it was the highest employment rate for black people. And I'm sitting here trying to tell him how things work when you're in office and how long it takes for stuff to build up. So whatever you're working on in your first 4 years, if you pass anything in your first 4 years, you won't really see the effects of it until like your second term, and or the next president comes into place, hashtag President Obama, till the next president comes into place. And then what they will say is, hey, well, this president did that. Oh, shit. The reason the economy was booming when 45 took office, it was because of the rescue plan that President Obama did when he was in office, and the seeds that he planted down that took effect with all the bailouts, because we bailed out too many goddamn corporations and banks and stuff because it was too big to fail, and how it helped out with job growth once 45 took office. So he telling me, I'm like, then this is a white man on top of it too. Not to say that because you're a different race, you can't have opinion on another different on a race. But I, for one, will never. Well, it depends on the data. If the data supports it, tell another race how great something is for them. And I'm like, you telling me, an educated black man, that things have been improving for me when everywhere I look around me, and how the employment rate is so high for us. And I'm like, and what goddamn jobs? What jobs? Because I'm like, I know so many black people that have been looking for jobs. I don't care if it's IT. I don't care if it's in healthcare. I don't care in certain fields where they've been getting ghosted. So I'm like, so if it's so great, well, where is this work at? I mean, give me some of those stamps so I can go apply for those jobs and get it. At least let me get an interview. I ain't even getting an interview. Let me get an interview. A lot of people I know not even getting interviews. Let us get some interviews. So then we can come back and check that box off. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it wasn't 45, but since 45 was in office, yeah, maybe true. Maybe no. So I'm trying to understand. So that's why I say, Republicans, y'all can sit y'all asses down and y'all can shut up. Because there is nothing that you can tell me that you have passed or you are trying to get past that will help out the American people. I have one that I know that I give credit to, the Republican Party here in the state of Georgia, and how they got mental health care added into, they passed the bill to get it added to your health insurance, as opposed to, if you didn't know, it was a separate charge. So when you went to go see a therapist, you had to pay for that out of your own pocket, which is why a lot of people couldn't. If you had money, you can go see a therapist. If you didn't have money, you was talking to your auntie and your cousins and your friends and whoever else would listen to you. It just wasn't happening. But now, because of the ones here in Georgia, I give credit where credit is due. They passed the bill to get put in there, but y'all can sit y'all asses down in this argument. So, because I'm saying this to criticize Democrats, but before y'all stand up and start, holding y'all flat, you sit your ass down, because there ain't nothing you've done, and you can argue with me and you can give me your opinion, but I don't care about you. If you know me and you've been listening to my show, I don't care about opinions. Give me some facts and some data to support it, and then we can have a discussion. So anyway, back to the Democrats. What the hell are y'all doing? Like, for real. What? This is the argument I've been having with people when it comes to canvassing. And we got 2024 coming up. So you got congressional races coming up. You have local seats that's coming up next year. You have the presidential race that's coming up next year. And I'm like, you're really trying to tell me, just because you invested towards infrastructure or, the social safety nets and whatnot, or you've been working toward like the worker empowerment, and then you touting this job growth, that I'm supposed to get out and come to these people and get them to vote blue no matter who. When we can't get access to quality health care. We can't get access to student loans being forgiven. And y'all can miss me on this fact of, well, you went to school. We were forced to go to school. Yes, we were forced to go to school. Yes, a lot of people could have taken a trade skill and it could have came out a lot cheaper. But at the end of the day, people told us, like my generation and above and below, that you got to go to school, you got to get a good education. And also depends on what school you go to and what kind of and what degree you get into, that the job it determines and how much that job pays. That you did it, you got to pay it back. And I'm sitting here like, well, these schools charge you got that much for school. And then again, it still depends on what school you go to, depending upon what kind of quality of job that you get, how much you get paid. So you got that going on. You got kids still going to school hungry. We still got a gun control issue that we're trying to get addressed out. We're still trying to get immigration reform. I mean, we're still trying to get more money towards infrastructure. We're trying to get for income inequality. We're trying to get help for homelessness. We're trying to get help for our vets, people that serve our country and has served our country, and how when they come back from serving, there's no help for them. And if they have mental health issues, because a lot of them do have mental health issues from what they've seen and what they've been trained to do overseas, because I don't understand how you train somebody to kill and then all of a sudden they got to come back and they got to take up some other skills, but they still in the back of their head, they've been trained to be killers. And there again, I understand they chose to get into that career, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a military, then like y'all always say, well, who's going to defend our country? So they come back here and they have mental health breakdowns, suffering from PTSD or whatever, or, they don't have the certain skill set to get in certain jobs, so they end up being homeless, how we don't have things set up right for them, and then their own personal health care. The VA is trash. The VA is trash. And then, but this is something else. So this is, I'm gonna make a thing on this too. But it's like you serve in the Navy and you try to get into the credit union for the Navy Federal, and how they're turning down black applicants at a 78% rate for trying to get a house. Just a house. So, and it pisses me off because people say, well, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? You got to get out there and you got to vote for the Democrats, because if you don't vote for the Democrats, it's a vote for Trump. And I'm like, I hear you. I do hear you. And I understand that he didn't do shit anyway. Like, I'm sitting here watching people argue about who gave out a stimulus check, and you know, it was because it's talking about Sexy Red and how she was like, well, at least he gave out a stimulus check when he didn't really want to give out the stimulus checks. He was forced to do it. And even then, when he gave the stimulus checks, he wanted his name included on there so people would actually believe that he was the one really pushing to get the stimulus checks pushed out there. And then lo and behold, too, a lot of his people got a ton of the money that regular Americans, that us regular old citizens, we couldn't even get. And I'm just like, how, if I don't get out and support the blue, that it's a vote for 45, but I'm like, the blue ain't did nothing. And I say that to say, you've done stuff on a federal level, but when it came back down, when it came back down to the people, it ain't been happening. It has not been happening. And you're not going to sit here and tell me you're going to hold me hostage or make me feel some kind of ways that, oh, well, if you don't do what's right. Y'all had the House and the Senate for 2 years. Same thing under President Obama. You had the House and then you had the Senate for 2. So you controlled all three branches. You could have got everything passed that everybody out here that we've been knocking on doors telling people what you promising, that you could have got it all passed in that first 2 years. Who gonna stop you? They can be pissed off all day long. At the end of the day, who was gonna stop you? Who was going to stop you? Because sure as hell 45 did it. Everything that he wanted to do when he had control of everything, homeboy did as much as he could to get it done. And you going to sit here and tell me, and now you want to play the whole guilt thing, not the guilt thing, but the blame game that because stuff can get passed, well, it's the Republicans' fault. The Republicans are blocking things. Nah, miss me on that. You can miss me on that all day, every day. You had everything in control for 2 years. And you barely got anything passed when it came to what we was looking for, especially when it came to student loan forgiveness, when that was the number one thing, or immigration reform. Immigration reform. I mean, it was a whole bunch of hot things that we were asking to take care of because you promised it to us. And we were out canvassing for people, making those, telling them what was being promised to them, and it didn't come through. And then you start making up bogus excuses. And then what sets me off even more is how people say, well, we don't have money for that. We don't have money for that. But somehow, some way, we can find money to fund wars overseas. We can find $45 billion to give to a Zionist country who's already rich. They're already rich, and y'all can. And then before y'all start talking to me about Israel, and it ain't like I'm talking about. And it's not a thing to say I hate Jewish people. I do not hate. Love Jewish people. I got Jewish homies over there. Love them to death. Beautiful country, great food, great people. All the people over there I met, they were super nice people, great people. I am talking about the government, and I'm talking about the people that's in power over there. It's a rich country. It's a very rich country. And for us to give them you found $45 billion to give to them. You found $50 billion and above to give to goddamn Ukraine to help fight their war with Russia. And I'm not opposed to that either, because I don't believe that if your neighbor decide that he want to come knocking on your door and he want to start bombing your house, he want your stuff, that, maybe, the block need to help out a little bit. Don't say the same thing, but you see how it's reversed now. Take what I just said, how your neighbor come knocking on your door and want to take over your space and move into your house, even though they got their own house, but they want your house too without your permission. Same thing with Palestine. Israel came in, took land in Palestine, even though a lot of Israeli people were there, Jewish people were there, not Israel, but there was Jewish people were there, but it was because of the U.S. they decided we're gonna take over your house, so you coming to somebody else's house anyway. We're not getting on that. I'm just saying how we found money to give to these other countries, but we can't find money for our own people. Like we can't find money for our own people. Like when we gonna get fed? How you going out taking care of other families, but you ain't taking care of your own? That's the only thing I believed in when it came to 45, where he was like, America got to be first. And I mean, I'm a little selfish on that. I am a little selfish on that because I'm a firm believer that even in my own household, I'm gonna say how my grandma said and my mom, I'll be John Brown if you taking care of another house and you ain't taking care of your own home. Y'all damn well know in a relationship that if your partner was not doing what they need to do at home, but they was steadily doing that crap out on the street for somebody else, you're gonna kick them out. They gonna be called all kind of bombs, and they just trash, and they need to leave. So why is it in the relationship? This is what I find funny too, because I always equate it to that. Why is it that when we talk about in a relationship, that if somebody was acting that way, that we have to kick them out of the way because they're trifling, they're useless, and you need to find somebody that's good for you? But when it comes to things that actually affect us from a government standpoint, we don't hold those same values. Give them one more try. Give them one more try. They'll do better next time. They hear your cries. And then, you got to do it. Like when you're giving your speeches, if y'all notice some politicians, when they giving their speeches, they got to put the thumb over the top of their wrist, like when you're speaking and stuff. So give them one more try. Give them one more try. They're going to do better. They hear you. They do hear you. They hear your voice. They hear your complaints. If you give them one more chance, we promise we'll take care of you next go around. A bullshit. A bullshit. No, that's not going to happen. So, now, me saying all that, it's like, whoa, what are you going to do? I don't know. I may go independent this time. I'm not even going to lie. I put it out there. People tear me up in my comments. I don't even care. Like, even if you, I don't even care. I may go independent this time. It's like I don't believe in the people that I don't believe in the people I helped put in the office. I definitely don't believe in the person I ran up against because he ain't been saying nothing with how stuff is being spent. And or not coming to defense of a nation of people that is being slaughtered. I mean, he just been quiet as hell. Oh, Hank Johnson ain't said nothing. Like he ain't saying nothing. And I'm not gonna sit here and say the ones next door too, like Lucy and some of the other ones, they not saying nothing either. They've been real quiet out in these streets. But I'm gonna put it like this. I may be independent this time, and I know y'all gonna say, well, if you do that, then worst case scenario, Trump get in office. I didn't say I wasn't gonna vote to make sure that we had control of the Congress and we had control of the Senate. I'm not feeling the presidency. I'm just not. I'm not feeling these congressional people either, and or these senators. I mean, shit, we can't even get stuff passed for black people. And I'm gonna throw the race card out on that one. We see so many bills get passed with everybody else. From the Asian Pacific Islander group to Jewish people. I mean, we see stuff I hate to say it, from white people too. We see so much stuff get passed with everybody else, but we don't get nothing passed with black people. Like, I mean, come on now, we don't get nothing passed with black people. And before you say what we get passed, I just told you about the credit union. We are still dealing with income inequality in this country. When it comes to people that look a little bit darker than me, when it comes to us, we're still dealing with stuff like that. They were not passing home loans with the same credit scores, with no debt, but money in the bank, ready to put 20 to 30% down, and still getting denied from the Navy Credit Union. And they serving in the military, but because they're black, they got turned down. We're still fighting issues when it comes to our hair going to school. We're still fighting issues when it comes to our hair when we go to school. So we're not getting nothing passed for us. How you want me to go knock on people that look like me, knock on their doors, and tell them to get out and make sure they show up to the polls and make sure they vote blue no matter who, when the party I'm telling them to vote for ain't even doing nothing for them? Yo, we got Cop City coming up in my neighborhood. This is where I grew up at, like the part of town I grew up in. They took all this land. It was government that had the land anyway, but they took all this land. They could have built it. They could have built anything else. This is in South DeKalb County on top of it too. Crime has been bad in South DeKalb County. You could have built all kind of stuff over there. Resources for parents, resources for kids that's out there, in trouble kids and stuff. You could have created an engineering park. You could have created anything that would help boom and boost the local people out there that has been enduring and dealing with crap for a very long time. No, I think it was a good idea to build a cop city. Like you built a cop city in the midst of a part of town that was already rife with trouble, that we could use some help. Like our funds that was for our county was being moved towards the richer, whiter end of town, and it wasn't coming back to us. So, and then what you decide to do is you build it on the black end of town, but you ain't building nowhere else on nobody else in the town. Like they didn't take it up to no white area. They didn't take it up to a Jewish area. We do have a Jewish area here in the state of Georgia. And it's in the Tucker, La Vista area. We do have a city, and I'm not saying nothing against it. I'm just saying we do have that where it's predominantly Jewish people, just like we have an area where it's predominantly African people, like Somalians and Ethiopians and stuff within this same county. Like it's crazy how we do have that, and in Gwinnett County. But we do have, I mean, your demographic, y'all flock together. So we have certain groups of people that flock to certain areas. We do have that. They didn't get that. They didn't get the cop city. I mean, they didn't get that. So I'm trying to understand, like, what, I mean, this is a rant. It's like, what y'all want us to do? Like, what do y'all want us to do to get out there and knock on these doors? What are y'all going to do to tell these people that? And I'm definitely not telling anybody to vote Republicans. I mean, you know, I'm independent. I may go independent, and I'm going to tell everybody, do I get a knock on to vote independent too? I mean, you never know who. You never know. I might tell them to vote for Cenk Uygur. Or how he says, like, Uygur of Young Turks. And I'm saying that because of, I forget the guy's brother's name that's running for office, but he old too. And it's like, I love him to death. I love his knowledge that he always drops. People always tell me I look like him. But he too old. You can call it ageism, whatever you want. I'm tired of voting for old people. I really am tired of voting for old people. So I might tell people, you know what, ain't no might. I probably tell people to go vote for Cenk. I mean, you know, he talk his talk. He a little rough around the edges sometimes when he's very opinionated. But at the end of the day, I think it's hard for the people. Does he stand a chance? I don't know. I don't put nothing past anybody because I didn't think Biden was going to stand a chance to last go around. And they put him at the forefront and told everybody else to fall back. So, yeah, man, I had to make this because it's like I've been seeing more and more stuff about how we find money for other people and how we can't get anything passed for like the black communities and all the stuff that just keep coming out when it comes to policies and stuff. And then and because I do get out and I canvas and I get out and work in the community and stuff, I'm like, I can't honestly look at people in their face and lie to them and tell them to do this because of how great we are. And I get that they come up and they present some great bills and they present good policies. They present stuff they want to get passed. And they endorse these bills and stuff, but they don't get passed. And we have the House. We had the House, and we have the Senate right now, but they don't get passed, or they don't even get brought to the floor. And I can't do that. So y'all stay safe out there. When it comes to candidates, make sure y'all do y'all research. Please do your research. Do your research. I repeat again. Do your goddamn research. And make sure the people that you're supporting are people that have actually worked in the community, people that have got out and actually worked within the community they're trying to serve, and they didn't just pop up out of nowhere having not done anything at all, and then you telling me to have your back. Do your homework, know who you're voting for, especially when you're giving your money to, because they asking for donations now, they're trying to raise funds. Give your money to people that are deserving of your time, of your attention, and of your monies to make sure that whoever you support are people that stand with your values and values that benefit you and your household. Not the whole governing body of this entire country, because people talking about border walls and people talking about, you know, immigrants coming up through here and at the end of the day, it's not doing nothing to your household. It ain't doing nothing to your paycheck. And the only reason they coming over here is because they're looking for work and they're looking for jobs. And if you want to get mad about something, get mad at the people that's hiring them and paying them under the table with low wages, but they won't hire you and pay you a livable wage because they're looking to put more money into their own personal pocket. So do your research. Give to the people that's going to take care of you. It's PTG TV.
Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the